Hey everyone, so just to talk about India today and their pollution problems. One of the major problems they're facing is the pollution of their rivers. I mean, it's very severe. One example is the Yamuna River, which runs for 855 miles, primarily in northern India, but it's now considered black and motionless because it's so heavily polluted. It's covered with a foam of industrial chemicals, human waste, and floating plastic. To give you an idea how bad it is, for every 100 milliliters of the river, there's 22 million fecal coliform bacteria. Back in 1988, there was only 12,250. So that's not even comparable. That's just gone up exponentially. Anything above 500 is considered unsafe. And to give you an idea, the state of Vermont, their standard is to have no more than a maximum of 235 of these bacteria per 100 milliliters. So compare 235 to 22 million. And some of these people have to drink this water. Some of the health problems are diarrhea and brain worms, and diarrhea is the fourth leading cause of death in India, and they have a much higher rate of that than China, even though China has a larger population. This river flows through Delhi, and the first 300 miles of the river after it flows through Delhi, the river is considered eutrophic, which means it can no longer sustain any kind of animal life. It's essentially dead. Now, there are 445 rivers in India. 225 of them are considered severely polluted. So there's even more that are still polluted, but more than half are considered severely polluted. 70% of the surface water in India is contaminated. 10 of the 20 worst rivers on planet Earth are in India. Now, India produces 16 billion gallons of raw sewage every single day, but 62% of that is left untreated and just flows right into the bodies of water in India, whether rivers, lakes, and such. And so that equates to 9.92 billion gallons of untreated sewage flowing into the bodies of water in India. The Yamuna River has over 100 million people living along its banks. So that gives you an idea how many people are affected. That's 1/3 of the population of the United States. One retired naval officer recalls when he was a child in the 1947 swimming in the river, and all his friends playing in it, and he even as late as the 1960s he said it was like a nice clean mountain stream, but it really started getting bad in the late 1980s. Another problem is all the dams that were built. The Water Commission officials say the dams were built to irrigate, flow the water towards farms to provide food security for the people, but that's taken away from all the natural flow of the river, so there's actually more sewage than water flowing in the river. And another problem is there's over 16 million people living in Delhi alone now, and over half of them do not have sewage lines connected to their homes. Another problems they're having health-wise are they're having a lot of seizures, and that's as a result of tapeworms implanting themselves in the walls of their brains. Another example, there's a little mosquito-like insect called the Goldy Chirinomus, and near the Taj Mahal, there's millions of them breeding, and they excrete this green stuff, and it can sometimes cover the Taj Mahal and take away the shine that usually has. The river is a breeding ground for this because there is no natural flow to the river, and so it's become a breeding ground, and which in turn has suffocated the river even more, which has killed off all animal life. And other problems, since there's no natural water flow, it's even caused the Taj Mahal to start sinking and some of the towers to start tilting because it's taken away from the foundation. So I could go on and on, but these are just some of the problems in India, which are progressively getting worse because they're at the beginning stages of their industrial boom. So hopefully their government starts doing something right, because this is not sustainable for over 1.1 billion people to be living like this. So anyways, just my thoughts on that.